Alright, now moving on to your comparison. Now, comparison, there is two paragraphs for you to write depending on how the question is being asked. If let's say the word similar is behind, how are the two sources similar? I need two similarities. But let's say that the question is how similar are these two sources? Then you need to write one similar paragraph and one difference paragraph. I'll start with the similar paragraph first. Basically, the format is very simple. You need first line, you must answer the question. ATQR, answer the question. Next, you must write your BOC. So go and look for the BOC first before you start. BOC meaning basis of comparison. Basis of comparison. Next, find out what are your common inferences. Because you say that they are similar, right? Hence, they must have the same common inferences. So ATQ is answer the question, right? Depends on how they ask you again. If they say does A agree with B regarding this thing, then you have to write agree. Yes, both agrees. I'm answering the question using the same word agree. If let's say they just ask how similar are these two sources, then all you need to write is the word similar. These two sources are similar. Next is your basis of comparison. Okay, check the two sources. Look out for the people. Any common person is in the topic in the picture. Are there common people in the picture? Is there a common topic in the picture? Is there a common issue in the picture? Is there a common trend that you see in both of the sources? Is there a common opinion that you see in both of the sources? Is there a common situation you see in both of the sources? So all these things for you to check out: people, topic, issue, trend, opinion, situation, or it can be other things as well. As long as you find something that is related to both sources, that is your BOC. Next is your inference, all right? Your common inferences based on this BOC, right? The person. Does the both sources have the same inferences about this person? Does both sources have the same inferences about this trend or this situation? Are they the same? If they are the same, then yes, they are similar. For example, for your social studies, right? But it's also the same for your history as well, the skill set, I mean. All right, you have to write something like this, right? Both sources are agree. Both sources agree globalization is beneficial. In this case, globalization here is your common topic, your BOC. Beneficial is your common inferences, right? Because both agree that they are beneficial. Another example would be TikTok. Let's say the common topic you have found from inside both the sources A and B is TikTok. Both are talking about TikTok, right? And both are saying the same thing about TikTok. That is the common inferences, which that TikTok is actually a harmful application to use for youths. So my inference is harmful. My common BOC is TikTok. And finally, I'm answering the question by writing agree. All right, so that's how it should look like in the first line. In the next line, then you move on to your evidence of both sources, basically just doing the same thing as your inference, but now you need to combine both sources to get into one paragraph. So you say A states this, blah, 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 blah. Then you write similarly. Very important, you have to write similarly. Then you write B states this, blah, 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 blah. That's the end of your evidence. Then you move on to your explanation. So for your explanation, again, follow the same criteria for your basic inference. Everything needs to be clear, extended, and in your own words. But in this case, okay, it's up to you. You can either explain them individually, A and B, or you can explain them together. So you say after you finish your evidence, right? Then you move on to does this means that. Again, no lifting. This means that. Then you write your extension of your evidence, just like how you will write your basic inferences. All right. So follow the basic criteria from your inferences. Now for difference, a little bit different, but still more or less the same. First line, you have to write your ATQ plus your common topic, common BOC, right? For example, both sources disagree. Okay, so your ATQ use the word whether it's different or use disagree. So both sources disagree. Regarding the impact of globalization, so can you see my common topic here is about impact of globalization. Is there an inference here? No, I didn't tell you any inferences about what exactly is the impact. I'm just pointing out to you what is the common topic or common basis on comparison that I'm exploring from both these two sources, and that is the impact of globalization. So your first line should not have any inferences at all. It should just list down what is the criteria that you are comparing. Alright, your second line, then you will write down the contrasting inferences based on the same BOC. All right. So in this case, if let's say your BOC is impact of globalization, one more. Oh, your thing is about impact of globalization, right? So then I'll go on to my inferences in my next two lines. A tells me globalization is harmful. Harmful is indeed my inference, right? And then while B tells me I'm talking about the same topic, globalization is beneficial. Can you see two contrasting inferences here? All right. One is telling me it's harmful, the other one is telling me it is beneficial. Both I'm talking about the same, exactly the same BOC, right? BOC is globalization. And then my two inferences which are contrasting from one another. One is harmful, one is beneficial. Take note, please do not leave anything. Don't use any words you see in the source because inferences is about forming your own conclusion. It is not about lifting from the source. Okay. After that, then you move on to your evidence explained of first source. So A states that blah 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 evidence. Then this means that again follow your basic inference explanation criteria for your explanation here to make sure it is valid. Once you're done with the evidence explanation of the first source, you write the word however, then you move on to your evidence explanation of your second source that can help to explain your point for the second source. Okay, just to reiterate one more time, make sure you have a contrasting inferences, and this is based on the same BOC. In this case, it is about globalization. All right, don't write about two different things, because if you write about two different things, then your comparison is indeed invalid. Your comparison is invalid.